Hi, it's Alana. Welcome back to YogaYin. Thank you so much for joining us. Today I've put together a sequence for fertility. This is for a student of mine who has Hashimoto's. Hashimoto's is an autoimmune disease which affects the thyroid. So there's going to be lots of postures for the thyroid. So if you have Hashimoto's disease or you have thyroid problems, this is going to be a really great sequence for you. She's also got a very high FSH, follicle stimulating hormone level, which we're going to try and bring down, and very irregular periods. She's just come off the pill and she's been on the pill for about 15 years. So she's getting all the symptoms of perimenopause. So we're going to try and reduce those symptoms and help her cope with them, and also to try and re-regulate the period as much as we can, make sure that she's ovulating, and also help her with that Hashimoto's. So I hope you enjoy it. Please keep your feedback coming. I am endeavoring to get back to everyone. And I will be taking 3 weeks off over April. So if you would like a personalized sequence, please contact me on Facebook so I can book you in. As of now, I have only one booking left. So do let me know if you'd like to go ahead with that before April. Namaste. So we're going to come down onto our mat, and because my student has particular problems with her right glute hip, I want you to come onto a blanket or a flat pillow. Sit the buttocks down, either in easy cross-legged or in Siddhasana, pose of a sage, which is my favourite pose. Okay, I want you to just take a couple of deep breaths here. Let your weight drop through the buttocks. Just letting go for your day. See if you can bring the breath down into the belly. Really connecting with the belly. Slowing down your exhalation. Let the belly be free. And then float your eyes open when you're ready, and we're going to start working with the neck since we're focusing on the thyroid gland. So I want you to inhale here and then exhale. Release the head forward. Inhale back to center and exhale. Release it back. Inhaling to center, exhaling forward. Inhaling to center, exhaling back. Good. Coming back to center. Inhaling and exhaling right ear to right shoulder. And back to center. And exhaling left ear to left shoulder. You're going to find that one side is easier than the other. Inhaling and exhaling. And again to the other side. Good. Inhale now, right ear to right shoulder, and gently roll it to the left. And then inhale and exhale back. Inhaling and exhaling. And continue slowly, mindfully. You might be feeling it in your shoulders now. We're going to release off the shoulders in a moment. And then come all the way back up to center. Roll your shoulders back and down. And just releasing. Good. Now I want you to gently inhale here and push the chest forward and open up the throat. And then exhale, curl through the spine and drop the head. Inhale to open. Exhale and curl. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. One more round. Inhaling. And exhaling. Good. Gently come back to center. If you're sitting in Siddhasana pose of the sage, come to Sukhasana, easy cross-legged, and then gently circle the hips, working into releasing that right hip and right buttock, but also working into the pelvis, freeing up the pelvis. Nice deep breaths into the belly. And then reverse those circles. Beautiful. Come back to center. Take a deep breath here. And then bring the soles of your feet together. Interlace your hands around the toes or around the ankles. Inhale here and exhale, fall forward. Baddha Konasana, gently opening out the groin. Again, continuing the flow of blood down to the pelvis. Drop your head, use your arms to ease out. One more deep breath. Beautiful. Inhale. Come all the way back up. Come back into an easy cross-legged or a Siddhasana pose, wherever you're comfortable. And then interlace your fingers. Bring them to your heart and inhale and exhale. Push the hands away, drop the head. Inhaling up towards the ceiling and exhale. Take your hands behind your head and squeeze your shoulder blades. Deep breath. Inhale, raise. And exhale, fold down to your right hand side. Take the other arm over. Turn your head to look at the ceiling if that's comfortable. If not, look straight ahead at me. Stretching from the hip to the fingertip, working into the liver meridian. Re-regulating the hormonal balance. And inhale, sweep that arm around, spine nice and straight. Look to the hand behind you and spread the fingers. Inhale like a dance and come all the way over. And then inhale back to center and reach up. And exhale down to the other side. Stretching from the hip to the fingertip. And inhale, sweep the arm around, spine nice and straight, look to the thumb. Belly nice and free. And then inhale, come all the way back. And then all the way back to center, reach up. And exhale, take the hands behind the head and just windmill the arms. Good, reaching up. Bring the hands down through prayer to the heart. Take a couple of deep breaths here. Let your belly be free. And then inhale here and exhale. Fold forward. Cooling the body down. Calming the mind. Good. And then inhale. Come all the way back up, and we're going to come down to lying on our back on the mat. So taking your blanket to one side, lying on your back on the mat, knees bent, walking the feet in towards the buttocks. We're going to work with Setu Bandhasana or Kangasana for each pose, which if you're following my fertility, you know is very, very good for egg quality, but it's also excellent for the thyroid, and we'll see why in a minute. We're going to practice this in a flowing fashion first of all. So have your arms long beside the body, palms facing down. And then inhale, just tilt your pelvis, raise your buttocks off the floor, get a feel for the pose. And then exhale gently back down. Inhaling, just raise gently. And exhale, bring it all the way back down. Beautiful. This time we're going to raise the body, coming up so that the shoulders, the neck and the head are on the mat. And then all the way back down. And now we're going to raise our arms at the same time, up and over the head as we raise the body. And exhaling, bring the body and the arms back down at the same time. Inhaling to raise. Exhaling to lower. Inhaling to raise. Exhaling to lower. Inhaling to raise. And this time we're going to keep it here. And I want you to stay with the arms like this if you're comfortable. Or if you'd rather come up onto your shoulders and interlace the fingers, do. Or if you want to support your lower back, if that's what feels great, and come up onto the toes, then do that. Once you find your position, we're going to hold it 6 deep breaths. One more breath. And then release your hands and your shoulders and roll all the way back down. So we can see from that position that we're working directly on the throat, on the thyroid gland when we come up into it, which is why it's so good for thyroid issues. I want you to now bend your knees and place your hands over your knees and make small circles on your lower spine. Good, and then reverse that. Now Setu Bandhasana is a slightly heating pose. So not only do we want to release the lower back with Apanasana, knees to chest, but we also want to cool the body down. Because we don't want to let the body overheat with fertility, certainly not when it comes to perimenopause. Hug the knees into the belly. Beautiful. You should feel yourself becoming a bit cooler now. We're going to bring that even further. And if you would like to use a prop for this pose, I suggest you use 2 bolsters if you have them, or 2 large pillows will do. And just place them under your knees. If you can work with this pose without props, please feel free to do so. Bring the soles of your feet together. Bring the tips of your thumbs and forefingers together. Yoni Mudra. Fantastic mudra for fertility. I want you to take a few deep breaths here. Breathe down into the belly. Feel the hands on the belly rise as you inhale. Feel the belly draw back to the spine as you exhale. Good. 2 more deep breaths here. And then float your eyes open. Bring one knee over to the other. Roll off to one side so that you can see me. We're now going to come into a pose called Ustrasana. Now Ustrasana is very good for the thyroid gland, but it is a back bend and it is quite a strenuous back bend, thus it can heat the body. So straight afterwards we're going to come into a cooling pose. If you find that this heats your body a lot and it's unbearable, then please don't practice this pose, but it is a wonderful pose for Hashimoto's. Okay. So what I want you to do is take your knees to hip distance apart and sit back on the knees. Don't worry if this is painful, we're not going to be there for long. And because this is such a strong pose, we're going to work with it in a flowing motion first and only hold it if you feel it's okay. So I want you to just come down to your mat, bring your palms together and rest your forehead on your thumbs and just take a couple of deep breaths here. When you're ready, I want you to inhale and raise your arms up and over your head. And exhale, take it back. And then release it forward and rest. Beautiful. And again, inhaling. Exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. One more, inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Now if you can feel the body heating up and that's enough for you, this is fine. If you'd like to come into the final pose, raise the arms. And then we're going to drop our hands back to our heels. We're going to press the thighs forward and open out the throat. And hold it for 6 deep breaths. One more breath. And then inhale, bring the buttocks back to the heels, and exhale, release forward. Bring your toes together, your knees out to the side of your mat. Stretch your arms out and rest in pose of a child. Let the elbows drop. Let the belly be soft. Now if you'd like to be more comfortable, grab your pillow or your bolster. Rest your head. When your breath feels nice and comfortable, you can release this pose. And we're going to come back into Halasana, plow pose. So extend your legs all the way along the mat. Let the body take a couple of deep breaths here. Another great pose for the thyroid gland. When you're ready, bend your knees. Take the feet up and over the head. And if you find this too much, just gently bend your knees. And when you're ready, come onto your elbows, interlace your fingers. One more deep breath here. And then release the knees. Release the hands. Roll all the way down to your mat. And just release it here. Turn your palms facing upward, lying Shavasana. Of course, if you'd like to take a few more deep breaths in Shavasana, you may do so. If you'd like to come into Matsyasana fish pose, which is also a fantastic pose for the thyroid, I want you to just turn your palms facing down, roll them underneath your buttocks, secure them. Inhale, come up onto your elbows, keep your big toes together, point your toes, and then release the head. 6 deep breaths here. When you're ready to release it, release the shoulders back down, roll the hands out from underneath, and again, just lie in full Shavasana. Beautiful. When you're ready, we're going to come into legs up the wall. So we're going to finish our practice today with Viparita Karani, legs up the wall. I want you to come into it from the side, so buttocks beside the wall. And then take the legs all the way out the wall. If you'd like to, just place your blanket or flat pillow under your head. Again, tips of the thumbs, forefingers together, placing them over the belly. Allowing the body to cool right down. And then I want you to inhale and gently take the legs out to the side. Again, working into the liver meridian. Breathe down into the belly. Allow course, if you have the time, you can remain here for up to 10 minutes. And if it's too much to keep your legs like this for 10 minutes, you can gently raise them back together. I want you to bend your knees, roll over to one side, and then come back to your mat. Sitting in a comfortable seated or kneeling position. If you like to, you can bring the tips of your thumb together and curl your left hand on top of your right. Allowing your weight to sink down into the bones. And gently taking hold of your dominant wrist, that is the hand you write with, usually your right with your index finger and thumb, bringing it behind the back, inhaling here and exhale, fold forward. Bowing towards your feet in a gesture of respect. Om Namah Shivaya. I bow to the greatness within. Gently coming back up when you're ready. Releasing the hands, bringing them to a prayer at the heart. So that is our half an hour sequence for Hashimoto's and fertility. Lots of really good poses for Hashimoto's there, including the bridge pose, Setu Bandhasana, fish pose, Matsyasana, Ustrasana. If you like to practice it, remember that's not a compulsory part of the practice. And also Halasana plow pose. Lots of movement there to release the belly if the core is really tight, just releasing it, softening it, letting it go, and also working into our liver meridian to try and re-regulate the period and bring it back into a semi-normal cycle. So I hope you enjoyed it. As I said, I will be taking a break over April, so if you would like a full-length sequence, please contact me on Facebook. Namaste.